Okay, so we are now reviewing Chipotle Mexican Grill. We're running through my stock checklist, which I'll review really quick with you here. What is the stock checklist? What am I looking for? So, if we were to review Chipotle Mexican Grill and figure out if it's a buy or not for a long-term investment or for an options trading system, we have to answer these questions. Do I understand the stock's business? Is the monopoly industry dominator, or is it on trend? Are the 5 year, 1 year, and 3 months charts rising? Are the revenue and profits up year over year? And do institutions want this stock? So, like, all of these should be a yes, or most of them should be a yes in order for us to consider buying this stock. The dividend is sort of a nice to have. It's not a necessary, but it's definitely a benefit. So let's get into it. The first thing that we are going to review is, do we understand Chipotle Mexican Grill? I think if you are in the United States, you do. It's very popular. It's kind of the go-to place for a lot of teens and a lot all the way up to people in their 50s who just want a quick meal that's super filling, sort of a good deal. And it's really tasty. Like, a lot of people like Chipotle. So it's definitely the industry dominator within the Mexican food space. And it is probably even a dominator in like that sort of faster food space across the United States. So I don't know about globally. I think it's probably not even expanded globally, but somebody needs to cue me into that if they have more information on that. But industry dominator, definitely on trend. Okay, so it passes that metric. So we're going to go back to the list. Do I understand the stock's business? Yes, they sell Mexican food and they're very popular. Is it a monopoly industry dominator and is it on trend? Yes, all of those things. So now the next thing is we go to the charts. Are the charts rising? We're going to look at the 5 year chart. Looks spectacular. We have a 257% gain. This is ideal. I love a 250% gain. It's like showing me that the stock is incredible. Apple has often had returns looking like this. Amazon. This is like a really beautiful chart. 1 year, 26%. That's great. 26% return in a year is beautiful. It looks like it's gone through a little bit of a pullback recently. The other thing that we need to understand about Chipotle is that it just had a stock split. It used to be $3,000 a share, and then it had a big stock split to split in something like the $60 a share range. Actually, it was right around here where it split, 66. And now it's had a little bit of a pullback, all completely normal and to be expected that sometimes stocks go through pullbacks. Now we're going to look at the 3 month chart. That is down 7.9%. Okay. So it doesn't really bother me when stocks go through a 3 month pullback after a split. So that's an exception to the rule. So this stock has two out of the three stock charts that are good. The third one is not so good. However, there was just a stock split. And oftentimes after a stock split, the stock can kind of stall or go down in the next 3 months. That is normal behavior, and it doesn't really scare me about the stock. So we're talking right now about a little bit of an exception to the rule in my system. And you can write that down, that like if a stock goes and experiences a pullback for 1 to 3 months after a split, that's okay. That's really kind of normal. That is because there's oftentimes a huge run up before the split. And that's something that we can see here. See this huge run up? This was all during the time, a lot of this was during the time they announced the split. Post split, it dumped off. So there's a lot of hype when a stock is going to split. People get in and then they wait for the split. Big institutional traders trade out. We're not really like going to be that aggressive with it. We're looking for something to work slower acting for us to trade my option system and for long-term investment. So I actually feel like this is kind of a nice time to get in on Chipotle myself. It's on sale. Okay, the next thing, what are we going to do next? We're going to look, are the revenue and profits up year over year? And we're just going to go back to Yahoo Finance where we can get all this information for free. And we're going to look at the financial statements. And my, oh my, aren't these good? All right, we've got 5.9, 7.5, 8.6, 9.8, 10.2. This is so healthy looking on the total revenue. We're just like growing and growing and growing as a company. Amazing. Gross profit, 110. 1.7, 2, 0, 2.5, 2.7. This is so healthy looking. This just shows me they are running their business like a well-oiled machine, and they just keep getting bigger on a consistent basis. And there's like this really nice percentage by which they keep getting bigger and delivering, more value to their shareholders. So I love these financials. The last thing I'm going to do is the last thing in the system, which is I'm going to say to myself, do the institutions want this stock? And does it pay a dividend? Okay, the institutions want this stock, and the way I know that is because the 5-year and 1-year charts are going up. Recently, the institution sold out, but again, I am not concerned because there's a stock split. Okay, so the last thing is we are going to look for a dividend right here. Forward dividend and yield, ex-dividend date. It does not have one. So it is too new of a company to offer a dividend. New companies normally do not have dividends. Maybe there will be one in the future. We don't know. We'll see. But that dividend for me is optional when we are in a bull market. When we are in a bear market, it is essential to have it. That is my rule of thumb. So since we are in a bull market, I won't count this against Chipotle. And I would definitely consider this stock for a long-term investment or to options trade with, because it passes so many of these metrics. So again, to review, do I understand the stock business? Yes. Is it a monopoly industry dominator? Is it on trend? Yes. Are the 5-year, 1-year, and 3 months charts rising? We got 2 out of 3 with the stock split. So mostly. Are the revenue and profits up year and over year? Those look spectacular. Do institutions want the stock? They have in the past very much wanted it. They've left recently. They're probably coming back. We'll see. Does it pay a dividend? In an instance like this where I'm not sure if let's say I'm not sure if the institutions are going to come back, what I normally do here is if I look at the 3-month chart and I say, hey, it's at 53 right now. Why, since this stock has been as high as 70, why don't I just consider buying back in when it's 65? When it's shown me that the institutions are coming back in. That's a really smart idea. And that's what I tend to do is if I'm not too interested in getting this stock on sale because they want the stock to prove to me it can continue to rise back to that all-time high, I'll just wait for it to pump another $10, $7, $8 from the low that it's at right now. And that's when I'll get my entry.